I was asked to come up with a theme, a talk for this afternoon. So I came up with this title, The Only Free Money on the Table, and it's effectively what is the benefit of loss prevention. It's returning money to the bottom line. Retailers are all here to make a profit. So Space NK, I work for Space NK, it's a beauty products retailer. We've got 60 stores, we're growing, so we've got another couple of stores opening this year. Our staff are mainly male and female, mostly females in store. We've got no store guards. And the notes suggest I'm a force to be reckoned with, more a one-man band. I do everything on my own. This presentation focuses on the loss prevention strategy that we adopted to help the business drive organisational sales and profit, and really picks up on a lot of positives from the Iceland presentation, in particular teamwork and partnerships with external parties. So, just get the button. Another little introduction. I put this presentation together just to show support from the Retail Fraud Forum. I came here a couple of years ago to gain some insight into the trends and the low-hanging fruit that was being identified by larger retailers. So this inspired me with some ideas of what to tackle first within my organisation, having been here. So really, achieving year 3, our shrinkage was fairly average across the UK. Year 1, 2008, 2009. Year 2 is 2009, 2010. So this is the year that I came to the 2009 Retail Fraud Forum. And 2010, 2011, you can see a dramatic reduction. So from the ideas that I picked up from the 2009 Retail Fraud Forum, I put into practice along with some of my own ideas. So the aim was to try and convey organisational desire to support staff, to invigorate team effort to help drive down our stock loss. The aim was to build energy, enthusiasm to address challenges, and the drivers were generated via a top-down, bottom-up approach. The economic situation at the time certainly demanded change. And as we can see from the 2008-2009 downturn, doing nothing wasn't an option. So whereas normally loss prevention is shoved in a corner, get on and do it yourself, here was an opportunity to drive change that was being reinforced from the top, but also the team players in the stores were concerned about their stock loss and wanted to improve their lot. So we all came together to make a difference. So first things first, we kicked off with an internal project called Project Canny, and because I'm Scottish, you can tell we named the project. So this was focused on driving efficiencies, challenging supplier costs, pursuing rental concessions and rationalising the supplier base, so there's nothing unusual there. Then we moved on to focus on the frustration that ever-stubborn shrink levels used to take the gloss from year-end performance. So we really wanted to focus in on this. And a CEO of New Look, Phil Wrigley, coined the phrase, shrinkage is the only free money on the table. And again, given that it was a project to return cash to the bottom line, reducing shrink was found to add significantly to the bottom line, thus improving profits and organisational resilience, particularly in the downturn. So this is me in 2009, sitting there taking notes in this very room. Why attend? As I said, eBay were present, so I was very interested in getting insight into activities on eBay. And at the time in 2009, I wasn't active in the loss prevention field, but I had worked previously in the industry. And as I said earlier, I was seeking insight into shrink trends at the time, insights that would help identify the presence of the low-hanging fruit within Space NK. And presentations from the likes of Steve Hearn at Jaeger made reference to his extensive investment in CCTV and how it didn't really help tackle the internal issue. So the internal issue was my main focus to start with. He also made reference to refund fraud, both of which struck a chord with me. So ideas from the Retail Fraud Forum 2009 definitely helped me pull a strategy together. And obviously no broken eggs, no omelettes. So we were taking an approach to make change. So not long after, I was doing skirmishing into retail world. And one thing, retailers tend not to like loss prevention getting involved with our business. But I had a look at the refund policy and saw a few flaws, so I introduced change to the refund policy to really help the staff on the shop floor and understand the difference between consumer entitlement and non-entitlement. The aim of that was to enrich staff knowledge, to empower their ability to deal with difficult situations, whilst at the same time reinforcing policy and re-establishing boundaries of acceptable behaviour. After that, we moved on to intrusive management. So from refunds, we started looking at staff purchases and found that some staff members were spending huge amounts using a huge variety of different cards. So there's obviously something going on there. So as a result, I was soon being accompanied into stores by human resources, and very quickly the grapevine was activated, and we found that word of mouth was and continues to be a very powerful deterrent. Historically, the culture within the business was to blame the IT system for fragilities with stock inaccuracies. To me, this gave too much wriggle room and opportunity for avoidance, responsibility avoidance. So we introduced a scheme to increase awareness across the store portfolio to the extent of shrink that was actually taking place and stuff that was leaving the store in an unauthorised manner, either by shoplifters or by in-house activity. So we used online trading sites just to highlight the extent of our product that was available through unauthorised trading locations. We also used limited in-store CCTV recordings to identify how product was being taken. And a lot of the time, customers were coming in, staff would turn their back and sleight of hand, and product was taken, and nobody would know. And it would take a while to actually identify the shrink. So we then identified the top 10 products in the shoplifters' most wanted list. And crucially, we started to alter the mindset and re-establish local responsibility. And again, reinforcing teamwork, the desire for the store teams to improve their shrink results. So eventually, with a lot of drive, energy, enthusiasm, and a bit of hard work, I managed to catch up with Steve Edwards, who was the representative of eBay at the time. He was in Brighton. He gave me access to ProEC and Vero reporting systems, and very quickly, previously anonymous traders became visible, and the low fruit was starting to be harvested. So not only were we having problems with shoplifters, but some of our stuff was being traded online by team members. So very quickly we stamped that out, and we've got a few publications that just shows the effectiveness. And again, these were posted throughout the company so people could see what we were doing and the effect of what was being done. So soon internal and external wrongdoers were being identified, prosecuted, so that road was being closed to them. And before long, we were disrupting those that sought to damage our profit margins. So again, selling through unauthorised third-party locations at discounts can damage the perceived retail value of products being sold, which isn't good for us at all. So we then introduced an all change. We introduced civil recovery, and we only followed up on successful police prosecution. So we didn't do civil recovery on individuals that didn't go through the CPS system. We also introduced external stock takers, and this provided us with greater count accuracy and significantly reduced trading disruption, but also introduced fear factor, because one thing managers don't like is having their business looked into. So that was very successful. We expanded the CCTV portfolio across the store network. It was valuable as a visual deterrent, conveyed value and desire to protect store teams. So again, stores responded to that. It was a modest investment, but it gave high loyalty returns. It altered the culture within the business, because again, we had more footage of wrongdoers and their activities, and a great way of identifying training do's and don'ts. And it helped increase the profile of the business with external agencies, be that the police or local town centre partnerships. We trialled EAS to varying degrees of success. And as I say, we subscribe to local business partnerships. Every one of our stores is required to stand on its own 2 feet. So local networking, local knowledge was invaluable and helped minimise shoplifter opportunity. We also introduced a regularity to cycle counts that were previously irregular. Internal audit position was established and continued with unannounced intrusive management audits, effectively to challenge the status quo. And managers were put in a position where they were felt uncomfortable and required to answer for any failures. Typical behaviour psychology approach to avoid the behaviour discomfort, the change behaviour, so that worked quite well as well. So at the end of the day, we managed to change from a UK average shrinkage result to a UK well under average, with the benefits of bottom up, top down, and crucially a team effort all round. Moving forward, improvements allowed the business to streamline stock receipt system. External stock takers, Origin, are now undertaking biannual stock counts, allow zero disruption to trading, increased accuracy of the count itself, and reduced staffing, so it saves all round. This year, shrink levels stand at 0.52% of turnover. That's for the last financial year. And when you compare that to 1.37% as being the UK average, that's not bad. Again, the focus with the approach to our shrink strategy was to focus on driving sales and profit. And really, that's me finished. So I leave you with one question, and that is internal crime understated? Because if we can turn around the result, as significant as that reduction, it suggests that there's a lot more going on internally than externally. That's me. Any questions?